Hello and welcome to episode number 8 of Down the Rat Hole, a podcast where we go on the internet and read stories about people that are doing things.
People definitely do things, don't they?
And then they go on the internet and they talk about it. Today with me, I have Will returning.
Hello. Again.
He's been held captive here, just waiting.
I'm actually tied down in the seat. I can't leave. It's not going to pick it up.
It didn't pick up any of that, did it? Just know it was really bad.
Why would you do that?
I can't have the companies coming at me for my drink, okay? I don't have that kind of following yet. Anyways, today's theme is Coworkers Part 2.
Yes.
Before we get into it, I did want to mention something. Looking at our analytics on Spotify and Apple Music, and if I can fucking find it, but for our gender analysis, we're at 57.1% female. Okay, awesome. 28% male, and then 14% not specified. 0% non-binary. Non-binary people, you need to get out there and represent your people and watch the show, because this is for everyone. And it's making us look bad, where we have 0% non-binary people. Can I rent a non-binary person to watch
legal.
my show?
I don't think that's legal anymore.
I think that's called hiring someone to do something.
No, not when you use the word rent. Lord.
Start off today.
Yeah. So this comes from Am I the Asshole? It was posted 40 days ago. And it may not be 100% real, but it's a good story. So
there's no way for us to know.
The title's interesting, so bear with me. Am I the asshole? For my wife says my relationship with my coworkers inappropriate, and they tagged this as advice needed.
Okay.
I've been working fully remote for a large company since 2020, and work IMs have become the new norm. I don't know what a work IM is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar, but I can't tell you what it means.
I took a new position April 2021, and a previous female coworker began directly reporting to me. She accepted a new position on another team in July. Once she accepted the new position, we started to tell each other how much we enjoyed working with each other and how much we'd miss it. She sent me pictures from her birthday weekend with her girlfriends, to which my response was, wow, to each photo.
Did we say ages?
Nope.
Okay.
Once officially in her new position, she changed her tone to much more casual and using extra vowels in her morning greetings, like hey, or hi, or good morning. We started chatting daily, sometimes over 50 messages in an exchange. I'm married. She's single.
She's definitely, she wants a piece. I can tell you that.
She probably knows how much money he's making and wants that too.
I mean, maybe not. Does she know that he's married? She might not know.
If she was his direct report, I'm going to assume that this guy at least has a picture of himself and his wife in his office.
He doesn't like that.
Maybe not. But, you know, it's been, a while since they've been working together. I figured he would have brought it up by now.
I don't know.
Okay, so She told me about her parents, grandparents, and siblings. We talk about work situations and colleagues and about what our vacation plans are. She is sometimes logged in while having time off to say hey and sends pictures from trips she was on. I talk mostly about my childhood and will tell her a small amount about my family, my kids and wife.
Okay, so she knows.
She's asked
She's
for
aware.
phone calls when she's having a rough day in her new role, and I was able to rebuild her confidence. I'm always positive and give lots of compliments about her at work. We went hybrid and we did meet in her office once to catch up, and another day had lunch together. I felt this was a friendly coworker situation.
I think he's stupid.
Yeah, that's a bit more than just friendly
I
coworker.
think he's unintelligent.
Yeah.
Not unintelligent, unobservant at the very least.
Maybe he's repressing. Maybe he knows and he just doesn't want it to be
I've
the
definitely
case.
met some people that have no idea
Yeah.
that someone is trying to flirt with them, but it's very obvious.
Oh, okay. My wife had an uneasy feeling after hearing one of our video meetings and looked at our
I would
chat
too,
history
damn.
on my computer. She accused me of flirting and being too emotionally intimate
He's having
and
an emotional
available
affair.
for this person and said the relationship seems inappropriate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that is the definition of an emotional
Mhm.
affair.
She also said the coworker was sending me pictures which, while not naked or overly sexual,
It's just
seemed
weird.
out of line, especially with me responding with wow
Wow.
to her in a tight dress.
Yeah, that's just strange.
Yeah.
Like,
She knows what she's doing.
I think it's very obvious when something's going on.
Mhm.
And if you suspect something's going on, you probably have a good reason for it.
Yeah.
Like, it's very rare that you think something is happening and then it's not.
So going back though to the part where the wife looked at his and the coworker's chat history, if you're going through someone's phone, there's probably a history of infidelity there.
Yeah, if you're at that point, I'm just like,
That's not something that just
reconsider.
happens. Yeah. So she already had trust issues with him,
Yeah.
I would say.
I mean, she just overheard him because so he's just like having these calls like out in the open. Maybe he really is just that dumb.
I
And
mean,
he's just
maybe some people are just overly friendly
maybe
to
he's
everyone,
just like
but
that dress looks really good.
I get the feeling that he's not like this to everyone, that he's like this specifically to this
Yeah.
coworker.
Yeah, I don't know. Either he knows or he's so stupid
Yeah.
that you probably still shouldn't be with him if he's just that unobservant, you know? If he has no idea how that looks to other people, then
Yeah.
he has a whole other issue. Um, I don't know.
So, on another occasion, when my coworker mentioned struggling to maintain her weight before her trip due to the amount of cake in her house, I told her that I was being mindful on my end to watch what I say, but she would be just fine for her upcoming beach trip.
That's a really there's just so much cake in my house. How much cake do you have in your house? How many cakes?
That's
Is not
one cake is not going to like make you obese. Does she just constantly have cake? Like, what's going on?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe everyone's birthday happened and
So
everyone got a cake. But how is that relevant?
I must have skipped over this part when I first read this because I don't remember this. The next sentence says, "I'm black," and I also said, "This is going to sound like something it's not, but I'm telling you, if you can manage to take it black, you'll be better off."
What?
Oh boy,
Okay, wait.
that's a sexual comment.
Okay. I'm so confused how his race is relevant. And also, what does that mean? Explain to me what he means by that because I don't know.
I think he's saying that she needs to get with the black guy.
What did he say? Re-say it.
He said, "I'm black. This is going to sound like something it's not, but I'm telling you, if you can manage to take it black, you'll be better off."
What does that mean, OP? OP, if you're listening to this,
So
sorry we're flaming you.
that
But what does that mean?
immediately just sounds like a sexual comment.
Yeah.
Like,
That just sounds weird and also
yeah.
confusing.
So
I'd be more confused than anything.
immediately after this, he says, when she said her coffee didn't have enough creamer.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I still don't agree with that. That's still a very sexual
No, that gives it more context
meaning.
that I understand now.
But his wife felt that saying has a sexual meaning
It
and
does.
it's not appropriate, and I agree with the wife.
It does,
that,
but now I understand. I thought he just said that to her randomly. I'm like, what does that mean?
But he could have prefaced it by saying the coffee. Him
but
saying the
so
coffee
weird.
afterwards,
That
to
makes
me,
it worse.
makes it seem like he meant that as a sexual comment and not just some
either way
thing about coffee. Yeah. But also, coffee by itself, I think, is disgusting.
I'm not a black coffee person. I can't do it.
Now, I'm sure if it's like a really good, like freshly ground coffee that's not burnt, it probably tastes a lot better.
I still can't
but
do it.
Unless you're doing that yourself, who has the money for that?
I drink coffee because it tastes good, and also I have tummy issues, so it helps me poop regularly. Life hack: if you can't shit, get the biggest frappe from McDonald's possible, and just wait.
So, I have also told this coworker about some of the gestures I do for my wife, and she told me that she would like her future husband to get marriage pro tips from me. I've called her good morning messages the highlight of my day. I've referred to her as my lucky charm, and she's let me know that I'm a phenomenal cheerleader for her. I did these things thinking I was being a great coworker and friend and wasn't crossing any boundaries, but my wife doesn't see it that way.
Not crossing any boundaries. That's an
You
emotional
literally
affair.
made a sexual comment to her.
Yeah.
Regardless of the coffee, it was still and can easily be taken out of
I
context.
consider that cheating.
Especially when you have to add in you're black and then you go and say that. You're not saying that about the coffee.
Yeah, that's weird.
My wife does not work in a corporate office, so I'm thinking maybe she just doesn't understand the new intimate relationships coworkers have. Or am I just trying to convince myself that I was not over the line? Were my actions out of a healthy coworker, or did I cross a line?
You crossed every line. That would be like divorce.
That's ridiculous.
Holy shit.
And
that's disgusting. And he's like, I didn't do anything wrong though. I don't understand. What did I do? I just basically had an entire relationship minus the sex, and I'm mad that my wife is saying something about it. Come on. Like you
and
have
from the
to
comments he's made, I feel like he wishes it was a full relationship.
Honestly, probably.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's just
weird.
That's just weird.
Yeah. He's had issues before in that marriage, I guarantee it.
Yeah. Before we move on to the next one, I did want to point out my shirt because I need it to be appreciated. It's flipped. I'll flip it in post so that you can see it for a second, but it's beautiful. And I'm not the kind of person that sits and waits for someone to casually and organically notice something, because what if it doesn't happen? Then I'm just going to feel stupid. So I need to point it out because I can't live with the shame of no one saying anything about it. What?
Oh, nothing.
On to our next one. This is from r/am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for calling a coworker out for being bad with money?
Probably. Unless they like gambled away their entire life savings, then
let's see. Okay. Longtime lurker and all that jazz. I really don't think what I said was wrong at all, but I can't seem to get an explanation from anyone, so I thought I'd see what I get from Reddit. I work with this one girl, Sam. To her credit, she's super nice and sweet to everyone, in my opinion. The problem is that she's really materialistic. She always seems to have a new sweater or whatever. Anyways, she came into work on Monday with a new purse. It was something crazy like $1,000, an early Christmas present to herself, she said. I just thought that was super irresponsible of her because she has an old dinky Ford. I've never heard anyone say
A
dinky.
dinky? Is it small?
I
Is it small and falling apart? Is it like
that's
a
what I'm
Ford? It's a
imagining.
Ford Pinto.
Is that a thing? Are they called that?
Put an image of a Ford Pinto on the screen and post.
I will.
Yeah, when I think of a dinky car, I think of a Ford Pinto.
Well, all of these look like really well taken care of.
I mean, yeah, but they're like straight out of the 70s.
Yeah, I imagine like I don't know Fords, but anyways, an old dinky Ford. She looks ridiculous with an expensive purse, but a 10-year-old car
A 10-year-old car
is
is
not that bad.
nothing. No,
10
people drive 50, 60-year-old
Yeah.
cars that are in better condition than some 2, 3-year-old cars.
10-year-old car
I mean,
is
the
like
age of the car doesn't matter.
I
It's how
feel
you
like
take care of it.
10 years is like the average
Yeah.
used car.
I mean,
age.
well, my car is 14 years old,
Yeah,
but
and
it
it's
does
completely
better
fine.
than
It's
most
also
people's cars that I know.
It's also a Honda.
Yes.
So she's
It's not a
never gonna
Ford,
die.
so
But 10 years is like I would say the average
Yeah.
age for a used car.
that's perfectly fine. Just take care of it, and if it's not a Ford, it won't fall
Also,
apart.
you know like how much a new car is? Like
A lot more than $1,000.
25, 30 grand.
Yeah.
She's allowed to have a purse if she wants.
You could probably buy a 15, 20-year-old car that's not
Maybe.
running for $1,000.
But that's like the same mentality of old people. It's like if you stop buying Starbucks, you'll be able to buy a new house and retire.
Yeah, but if you don't spend the money on Starbucks, you're going to spend it on something else.
If you stop putting avocado on your toast, then you'd be where I am right now when I bought my house for a handful of blackberries. Like, that's the mentality.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's continue. She was showing it off to the other ladies, and literally all I said was, "That's great and all, but that money could probably have been spent elsewhere. Don't you have a car that's over 10 years old? You should look into getting that replaced instead of buying designer purses." I tried to make sure I was as polite as possible.
There's no saying that in a way that's any sort of polite.
Yeah.
No.
She looked embarrassed because I guess she realized I was right, but the
No.
other girls gave me this really bad stink eye, like I just cussed her out or something. Since then, everyone has been giving me the cold shoulder.
Good.
Even the guys, too. It feels too awkward to ask what the deal is, so I won't. Did I actually say something wrong? Am I imagining things? Is what I said really all that bad? Yeah, I think mind your fucking business. Like, keep your inside thoughts inside.
Is there a chance that this guy has some sort of, like, mental issue where he just doesn't pick up on social cues?
That's possible.
Because him writing this post makes it kind of sound like that.
That is possible. Also, I don't get that vibe. Like,
I mean, he could just be like a idiot.
It's the way that he wrote it that makes me feel like he truly is just an asshole.
He's a Discord moderator.
There's an edit. Okay, I get it. I'm an asshole. I still think I was right, but whatever. I'm just the workplace dick.
Yeah.
Edit 2. I get why people think I'm jealous. No, but I'm not. So please stop saying that I am, because I am not jealous of nearly $1,000. What I hear
he's
is
jealous. He's jealous though. If you have to make an edit to say I'm not jealous, and then also say I'm not jealous directly after saying that, you're jealous. 100% you're jealous.
If you're not jealous, you don't have to repeat it because you know that you're not.
An innocent person isn't going to defend themselves like that, especially on the internet. Like,
I feel like unsolicited advice is just something that happens a lot with some people, but I think it's very clear when people mean it in a good way and it just comes off wrong versus someone just inserting their opinion because they think you should live your life how they want you to. And that's clearly what this is. I don't think it's like he just overstepped and like didn't mean it that way. That's because I mean I feel like everyone's had that happen to them at some point, and you're just like, oh, okay, and you don't think anything about it and you just live your life. But this is very, very clearly he's just pissed that people are people and
I
can do
feel
what they
like he
want.
does this regularly, and I feel like this is the first time that it's had social repercussions from it. But I
Yeah.
don't feel like this is the first time for him to just go up and say that to her with other people around. I don't think this is the first time he's said something like that.
No.
No.
Yeah, that's just it's crazy.
You want to do the next one, or you want me to?
You can do the next one. I figured we'd just alternate.
Okay. Am I the asshole for suing a coworker?
Depends what over.
Last Thursday, my coworker, female 31, Jane, decided to pull an office prank on me, Mel 23.
How old was she?
She was 31.
Okay.
OP is 23.
So we're almost a decade apart.
Yeah. I work in a smaller sized office with about 15 other people, and we each have our own workspaces. Some people bring in personal items like photos or plants, and others bring in productivity items like mice and headphones. When I got to work and tried to start my computer, I immediately noticed something was wrong with my keyboard. Now, this post infuriated me, and this is why I took it on here, but it pissed me off so much because I could see, having worked in IT and still do, I know people who are like Jane, and they infuriate me in the job.
I'm not gonna lie, I have read this one because I did. Well, like we gathered our stories separately, and I read this one. I was like, this would piss him off, so I saved it. But you already found it, so it's like that's yours. You keep it.
Okay. The space bar, shift, and alt keys were all stuck. As I unplug it and start fiddling with it, Jane comes up from behind me, giggling, asking what I'm doing. She then quickly admits that she came in early and super glued some of the keys down.
That like melts plastic as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no saving that.
And for those of you who don't know, he probably doesn't have a mechanical keyboard. It's probably it's probably a membrane keyboard that's very thin, fragile plastic that would entirely get just ruined by super glue. Melted or not, you ruin the keyboard when you
I
do
would
that.
say like a decent keyboard's around $200, right?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
I told her that I didn't find her damaging my personal items funny and she needed to replace it.
Yeah.
She immediately became upset and left. So I went straight to my supervisor and told them what had occurred and that I needed Jane to replace my keyboard with an exact copy. The keyboard in question was about $200, a bit more than the basic ones we were issued at work. My supervisor told me they would take care of it and email them the model of the keyboard she glued. On Friday, they let me know that Jane would replace it. Immediately, I didn't even get like past the first couple sentences, and I knew that Jane was going to be a Karen about this.
And not get the right one, I assume.
This morning on my desk was a box from Amazon, an Amazon Basics keyboard, and a post-it note with an apology from Jane. I took the box and immediately went to go find her, as this wasn't what I led to believe she had purchased. We argued for a bit because she said I was being dramatic and disrespectful of her apology. I told her that while I appreciate she's trying to make things right, the keyboard she purchased was very different from the one she destroyed. She said that it was the best I was going to get from her.
Would you like to know how much the Amazon Basics keyboard costs? $13.53.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. And she said it was the best I was going to get from her, and I could take it or leave it. Absolute Karen.
You can't just destroy people's property because you think it's funny.
No. I told her if she had no intention of replacing the item, I would take her to small claims court, and then left to find my supervisor. I told them what happened, and they said they would have a talk with her and follow back up with me later. After lunch, a few hours before he wrote this post, I received an email from my supervisor saying that they felt she had done the right thing. The email also stated that suing a coworker could have an impact on my future with the company, which them saying that in an email
You have
basically
such
wins
good
him the
proof.
case. Yeah.
Bro's gonna be able to get a lot of keyboards after this one.
Because you can't do that. Like, this is destruction of personal property,
Yeah.
at work or not. She broke something of his,
That he bought
refused
with
to
his money
replace it.
just because he wanted it.
Yeah. It doesn't
Right.
matter that he took it to work. It's his personal property.
Yeah.
And that no one, because if work had replaced it or Jane had replaced it, it doesn't matter. It needed to be replaced. This is now criminal, and the work is covering for Jane, a criminal in this case.
Like, if she totaled his car and it was a Tesla, and she's like, okay, I'll give you a new one, and she shows up with a Kia Soul, that's a bit different. It doesn't matter that he left his car in the parking lot at work. That's still his car that he
You
paid
either
for.
replace it with the exact same thing or something better.
Yeah.
That is common sense for everyone that's not a Karen.
Like, and I'm sure if she was like, sorry, I didn't realize it would ruin it, I will buy it for you in this time period, he probably would have been like, okay, whatever. Like, if she couldn't afford it or something.
But the fact that she immediately got upset about it and started just whining.
Yeah.
Oh no. No one in that office likes her.
No.
Not a single person does.
I'm sure everyone's pissed.
Yeah. I want to say that I definitely knew there was a risk in taking any item to leave at work unattended, but it is something that everyone at this office does. As if anyone has ever had an office job where they have their own desk, you probably have some personal items at that desk.
Yeah, like, it's a desk.
It was an extra keyboard, as I received a new one as a birthday gift a few months back. So it's not like it's something I bought just for work, but it's still something that he had purchased and owned.
It doesn't matter, the specifics, it's yours.
I just feel like she shouldn't be destroying things she has no intention to replace. I imagine that had this been done to something provided by the office or to the pictures of her family on her desk, it wouldn't have gone the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should not let that go. He should 100% go to the police about this and see if they can do anything.
Also, would the labor board be the right place to go over them saying suing someone can impact your, like, job?
No, but taking it to small claims court and telling the judge about it would definitely cause impact with that. Not with you with that job, but that company would get some legal ramifications.
I would also say just be looking for another job. Because that's obviously
get your money back.
Place for
get your money back and also get another job if they don't get shut down. Because if they're siding with Jane, who has done criminal destruction of someone else's property, they've probably done other things that are illegal or borderline illegal.
He said smaller office, so probably not as many regulations as like a big corporate building.
I doubt they have an HR. His supervisor probably owns the company or is at least like a branch manager. That oh god,
he looking for another job because that's just it's rough.
I could see this ending up on Petty Revenge, where he goes and like takes all the pictures of her family and draws and gets like a Sharpie and draws little like devil faces on all of them.
If it was something sentimental, I think they would have treated it differently as well.
That doesn't mean a keyboard can't be sentimental.
Yeah, it could have been.
Because what if that wasn't one that he bought? What if it was gifted to him?
What if it was gifted to him by his grand? What if that's a family heirloom? That is
family heirloom.
What if it's like a fucking typewriter? Like he does all of his work. He's like, maybe. What if it was like really loud and she hated it, so she glued it? Imagine just, I know that is a thing that people do. They'll go to like a cubicle style office. It'll be completely quiet and someone will be a loud ass mechanical keyboard.
Don't get a mechanical keyboard in an office. You're the asshole. You are the asshole if you do that. You don't deserve to get it glued, but you're the asshole.
Yeah. Okay. This is coming from r/am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my young female coworker that everyone avoided her at work because they're intimidated by her looks?
Probably. Yeah. Does she look like a bridge troll? Because that would be intimidating.
I'm 32 male and work in the tech industry. Some months ago, a junior engineer joined the team, and I was responsible for mentoring
Mentoring.
her. Yeah, I had a stroke. She's a bright, talented young woman with an impressive story. She's also the only woman and the only ethnic minority on the team.
Unfortunately, in the tech industry, there's not a lot of women and there's
Yeah,
not a lot of
diversity
at
at all.
all.
I mean, it probably
It
just
sucks.
depends where you are. I'm sure where we are in the southern
Yeah.
ish US, not
The
a lot of
yeah, no.
diversity. I'm sure that's much different if you go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Um,
Around here, it's not.
yeah, it's a boys' club.
It sucks.
It's a white boys' club specifically. At the start, Em was pretty quiet and mostly kept to herself. She joined us at a time where we were exclusively work from home, and most of the team had only a vague idea of what she looks like since she never turns on her camera. Not that there's an issue with that. However, over the last month or so, she was clearly warming up to the team and even making jokes. Last week, we had our first team meetup since the company relaxed rules. Em came, and it was the first time we saw her in person. The situation was highly awkward, and a noticeable shift occurred. Im is physically attractive, and it's clear that it caught everyone off guard. I don't think I've ever met
That's
someone that maybe like in the
no.
situation of a bunch of greasy little tech boys, they would act like this. But like I've never met someone where I've been uncomfortable
No, who gets caught
about
off guard by how someone looks?
yeah. Like I think if
That's
I see someone that's really attractive, I think that in my head I'm like, oh,
yeah.
whatever. And I don't like freeze.
Yeah, I'm
I'm not
not
like,
gonna be
ooh,
like
that person is the
like
most beautiful person I've ever seen. Like,
saying,
what?
"Oh, I like them, so I'm gonna go flirt with them," but I'm nervous is not the same as like caught off guard by their
Everyone
looks.
shifts
Yeah.
their like demeanor.
I don't think these are IT people. Again, I think these are Discord moderators.
It's the same. With I think they're the same people here. Um, where was I? Okay, yeah, I caught everyone off guard. I don't get that. But at one point, Em asked to speak with me in private, and so we did. She asked me what's going on and why everyone is being weird and ignoring her. For example, one colleague almost spilled his drink on her, and instead of apologizing, he just took off in a hurry. What?
That is
That's.
that is classic. I'm in like a Hallmark movie
Mhm.
and this person I like
He's
them, but I
like,
don't want them to
oh
know.
my god, a woman
This
looked at me.
yeah.
Like that's what I'm thinking is going on in these people's heads, except it's absolute silence because no one wants to talk to her for some reason. I imagine these people have a Discord server together at work, and
Oh
that's like their
no.
they exclusively talk over it. They only play Call
She's
of
not in the
Duty.
group chat.
No, she's not there. And if she was, she would be very scared very quickly. They'd have to make a new one so she couldn't read the things back.
What do you think their server is called?
I don't want to know, but I know it. I see it. The prophecy has been foretold by yours truly. Um,
The Neckbeard Fort.
I explained that they're a little intimidated and surprised, but it's nothing to worry about. She was confused, and I explained that her appearance and demeanor aren't something that guys are used to. She asked me what that meant, and I said that she looks great and carries herself in an elegant, respectable way.
That is weird. Don't say that to someone. That's
That's
weird.
weird. If someone said that
What
to
the
me,
fuck?
I'd vomit.
I don't want them to talk to me or anyone I know ever. That's disgusting. I mean, that is
I'm so scared for this girl.
yeah. She needs to get a new job
She's got
immediately.
somewhere else. After our conversation, she seemed even more withdrawn and uncomfortable. Nobody
Mhm.
else made the effort to engage with her, so I made sure to include her. I've discussed the situation with my wife, and she thinks I'm a major asshole.
Yeah.
I'm surprised this man's married. Um, she insisted that I shouldn't have told him that her appearance was the reason everyone avoided her because that puts a burden on him. According to her, I clearly made her feel bad and self conscious. She also said that my team are a bunch of scared little boys that would rather stick to their little boy groups instead of humanizing and interacting with women. This is completely true.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that's disgusting. It doesn't matter if they're intimidated by how good she looks or if they just don't like her because she's a woman. You don't tell her that.
yeah,
You just say, "Oh, you could even lie and be like, "Oh, they're like this with every new person."
yeah.
That would make me feel better than someone saying like, "Oh, you look so good, they don't want to talk
I
to
feel
you."
like even
Because that
saying,
sounds like a lie.
I feel like even if
No,
he
that
was
sounds like a lie.
straight up just like they're not used to being around women, I think she would. That's still weird,
Oh,
but like
weird.
I feel like she would be like, okay, that makes a little more sense instead of you're so beautiful and you carry yourself so elegantly. They
Yeah.
just don't know how to act. Like,
No, because that sounds like a lie. It feels like something that was rehearsed. And
yeah,
honestly, like if I was her, I'd probably be thinking like, is it because of my race? Is it
yeah,
because I'm a woman? Do I am I not like am I
yeah.
ugly and they just don't want to talk to me? I wouldn't be
I don't
thinking
know.
that that guy told me the truth.
She said that she feels sorry for M for having to put
Yeah.
up with fragile tech bros and hopes the incident doesn't affect her confidence going forward. I explained to her that she must understand that a bunch of pasty and nerdy tech dudes wearing t-shirts are obviously going to feel
No.
intimidated when their coworker is an attractive woman with exotic looks. My wife rolled her eyes and said that I'm ridiculous. Ever since this incident, M has resumed to be being quiet at work. Our professional relationship hasn't changed, but she's clearly not warming up to anyone anymore. So am I the asshole?
Oh my god.
You can't call people exotic.
No, and
First of all, we're
that
not.
read the edit.
Yeah, he says, okay, I get it. Calling someone exotic is bad. I get it.
That's not just the only bad part. That just adds to the badness. So
Yeah.
this saying that though, I feel like entirely makes this a race thing.
This girl is probably used to being fetishized. Unfortunately, like I don't know if she's Asian or not, but that is a popular thing with Asian women that they are fetishized basically wherever they go.
Especially if you're
And then
going to go
you
into the tech
put
industry.
into the tech industry in America.
Yeah.
That's got to be really rough.
Now, I
it's-
haven't worked in a place. I've had what 4 other jobs than the one I'm currently in that are IT jobs, and they've never had a pasty white tech boy in it that's scared to talk to women. It's had people
maybe
who are quiet and
Yeah.
reserved. They'll talk to anyone, but I've never had that like stereotypical like nerdy quiet wearing like a
Maybe-
button-up t-shirt with a pocket protector. I didn't think that existed. I'm gonna be honest.
maybe
I thought that was
in
just
the retail side. I feel like I could count a few that would fit into that.
not even in like because I had worked at Geek Squad for a bit, and there wasn't anyone like that in Geek Squad. Everyone
Yeah.
there would talk to anyone. I mean, some of them are definitely more shy than others, but
Yeah. I feel
he's
bad for all the
saying-
women that work there.
the fact that he's also stereotyping his own workers, and then he's making them being intimidated by this woman and race thing.
Yeah.
He's a horrible boss and should be fired.
Yeah, that's just strange. And I feel really bad for her.
Yeah. Okay.
You want our next one?
Yep.
Is that your last one?
It is.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for refusing to distance myself from my attractive coworker? Do you have this one too? No.
No, okay.
Okay.
Sorry. I thought I did. I think I may have, but
38 male, have been married to my wife Sarah, 34 female, for 4 years. Okay.
okay.
Early 30s marriage. I work as a senior software engineer at a small company, but I've been at for 8 years.
Okay, bro's making bank is what
Yeah,
I'm hearing.
and I am the domain expert in a specific
Domain
area
expert.
of our software stack.
I love when
This
people
this
use
man
those
is
words.
making 6 figures easily,
Mhm.
if not more, depending on where he's living. He's probably making upwards of, I would say, 400 grand.
Maybe. It's more
If
common for 2
if
years.
he's living in a place like Silicon Valley
He
or
said
New
small,
York,
so I would
but if it's
say
a startup, if it's a
say
startup and they have
maybe,
angel investors, you make a lot of money.
but he's making more than the national average, is what
Yes.
I would assume.
About a year ago, we had a new coworker, Allie, join the team. Allie spelt with 2 L's.
That's a very
I
specific fake
don't
name
know
to
if
give
it's
someone.
supposed to say ally
I think it's
or
Allie. I
Allie,
think it's just
but
Allie.
I'm saying Allie. I helped her with the onboarding process, and she ended up taking on some projects in my area of expertise. So we have continued to work pretty closely together. There's never been any flirting from either of us. She knows I'm married. I think she's single because she hasn't mentioned having a partner, but we don't really do personal conversations like that. We mostly talk about work, interesting news in our industry, sometimes books, movies, etc.
Okay.
I so far it just sounds like they're
Normal.
friends. Yeah, there's 2 friends nerding out about tech stuff in their field.
Also, I'm a computer science major, and there's nothing I fear more than going into the actual work field
Yeah.
once I graduate. I'm so scared that I'm going to be mentored by some fucking creep.
Yeah.
Because the numbers, I feel like there's more than there's not in certain places.
So
But
this very next sentence just throws everything we just said out of the water.
okay.
Now, the thing about Allie is she's undeniably very conventionally attractive.
Okay, what about it?
Tall, slim, blonde, symmetrical.
He's
symmetrical.
stared at this
Like,
woman.
I feel like he's gotten a protractor out and a
Yeah.
measuring tape and gone up, and
You know
measured.
that your eyebrows are the exact same shape. You're so symmetrical. You look like a Greek goddess statue. I can hear it in my head right now.
If you met her in the street, you'd probably guess she was an actress or model, not a software engineer.
Are we saying that software engineers have to be like greasy,
Most
grimy?
people do modeling as their side job.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that full time.
Oh yeah, no.
If you get paid, you don't get paid that much.
Yeah, like depending, like especially when you're starting out, unless you have
Yeah.
one company that is like sticking with you and you were blowing up and doing really good, it is not easy to make it as like just a model. Like,
I will admit that when I first met her, I thought this is probably the most attractive person I will ever meet. But not in like a I want her way.
what?
More like just amazed that a person this perfect looking exists.
Are we in a town full of uglies? Because I feel like I've never met someone and like been so astonished by how someone looks. I can definitely, like, even like watching a movie, I can be like, that person's attractive. Zendaya, she could get it any day. But like I've never had such a strong reaction to be like, oh my god,
the most attractive person I will ever
I will
meet.
never in my life be bestowed and graced the way that this person just existing has done to me today. In a casual way, also. He was like, by the way, not like I want her just because I think she's really hot.
After that initial shock, she quickly became just my coworker.
Okay.
I eventually learned she had to leave her last 2 jobs due to sexual harassment. Oh, you know that about her, and you know that about her.
Yeah.
And you're already saying that you think she's the most beautiful person you've ever met. You better tread fucking lightly, or she's gonna leave for sexual harassment again.
Yeah, probably. This poor girl.
She probably should because of you.
I haven't done anything yet.
Luckily, our team is mostly younger guys who've recently graduated from colleges with more balanced gender ratios. And we already have 2 other women engineers on the team, so everyone knows how to act respectfully towards each other. Okay. That's not that hard to act respectfully towards anyone. It's really not.
It's just mind your business.
You just be nice. And
be
if you can't be nice, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, go home. Go in a corner. Go to the bathroom and punch the wall. I don't know.
Your mouth. That's all that it takes.
My wife knows all. My wife knows about all of my coworkers, including Allie, but hasn't met Allie
Okay.
in person before. The problem happened last night when Sarah and I were out with some friends. We were standing at a crowded bar waiting for drinks, and one squeezed in beside us, and it was Allie. She was dressed up for clubbing in a tight black outfit and lots of makeup. I
Already
said
reading
hi
this
and introduced my
description.
wife. Allie was very polite and said hi, but seemed kind of awkward and quickly left with her friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably because she doesn't want to see the creep from work while she's at a club.
I mean, it's also entirely possible that since Allie came up to say hi to him, he wasn't happy that his wife was with him.
Oh, yeah.
Later, my wife started grilling me about why I had never told her about Allie. And he says I had plenty of times. Why did I never tell her she was hot? Because it wasn't relevant. Did I ever
Okay.
spend time with her alone? Yes, we work together on some projects and have meetings, but never hang out alone. Did Allie know I was married? Yes, of course. Why did Allie seem so uncomfortable to meet her? Probably because she didn't want her coworkers seeing her in a revealing clubbing outfit.
That's fair. Like,
Yeah,
I don't like my coworkers seeing me at Walmart, like, in
yeah.
not work clothes.
How come Allie had never come to any of the happy hours or holiday parties when she was there? I don't know. She never goes to those events regardless of whose spouses are there.
Okay.
On and on and on. I kept trying to assure her that I'm not interested in Allie, but she wouldn't believe it.
Okay. I don't see anything wrong with this so far.
He actually seems like he's being respectful.
So far, I can't imagine talking about like coworkers and being like, by the way, that one's hot.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that one's really attractive. That one
Yeah, that's
is
weird.
a 10 out of 10. This one, 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, that is not how you have a conversation.
Like,
that is not how that works.
why is the wife so insecure about this though?
I don't know. So far, OP
Like,
is okay.
he
Besides
seems
kind
like
of being
yeah,
a
he
little
seems like he's
creepy.
very.
As long as he's keeping
I mean,
his thoughts
his
in
thoughts are being
himself.
creepy, but he seems like outwardly he's being very respectful, both
yeah.
to Allie and his coworkers and to his wife. Why is the wife getting so defensive?
I don't know.
Over
Like, you're allowed
right?
to think people are attractive. That's loud. Like, but don't act on it. And it doesn't seem like he is. So far, I'm just like, okay.
Okay, so here we get to the fun part. She finally told me, the wife, that she wasn't comfortable with me ever being alone in a room with Allie. I told her that's just not possible with the nature of our work, and that is true. A lot of times in the tech industry, if it's not you by yourself or you with a group of however many other people, it's probably going to be you and one other person working on a job, especially if you have to do field work or if you're working on a project. You're lucky to get help because the entire tech industry is understaffed. So he's lucky to have that help.
Yeah.
Regardless of who it is. So I told her that's just not possible with the nature of our work. She told me I could reassign her to a different project. This pissed me off because Allie is great at her job and she has been fighting this kind of sexism her entire career.
Mm-hmm.
My next comment is probably the asshole moment.
Okay.
He says to his wife, "You're a pretty shitty feminist if you think I should deny a girl career opportunities just because she's hot. She's one of the smartest people I've ever worked with, and I'm not going to punish her because you're insecure, so you need to get over it."
I mean,
he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
He's
but
not
also,
wrong. He probably could have been nicer.
I really
about
want to
it,
know.
but I feel like his wife was being kind of a bitch, and I
really want to know exactly what she said because all that he is saying kind of sounds paraphrasing-ish, and maybe that's not exactly what she said. If she exactly was like, "You should have told me that this girl was attractive," then
yeah, she needs to get over it. That's ridiculous. But from what he's saying, and of course we have to go off what he's saying, the wife was grilling him about it.
Yeah.
She seemed like she was getting very heated about it. I really don't blame him for saying that. And, honestly, it is pretty shitty of the wife to have him to try controlling over him and make him ruin this girl's career, possibly.
I mean,
because she might, if he reassigned her, she might get just so unmotivated that she wants to get a new job.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in a straight relationship, I mean any relationship, but if you're in a straight relationship and you cannot handle your partner being friends or
Yeah,
existing in the world with people of
that's
the opposite sex,
so immature.
you like get over it. You need to go to like personal therapy because
Yeah,
if he's not done anything to deserve like being treated like this, even if like you got cheated on before, you can't put that on someone else. Like that's not their problem.
I have a small tangent to go on. I will
Okay.
go on it after I finish
Okay.
this. I slept on the couch.
Okay.
Now, after cooling off, I feel really terrible about saying that. I understand why my wife feels insecure. Our son is 16 months old and she hasn't snapped back. Her words, not his words.
Okay.
And Allie was looking very fit last night. More than I would have even guessed, she dresses very modestly at work. I know I wouldn't be thrilled if she worked with Chris Hemsworth every day, but I also understand why Allie feels insecure that no one thinks she's smart or takes her seriously as an engineer, and Sarah is making the same shitty assumptions about her that her old coworkers did, and it made her life so miserable that she quit two very well-paying jobs. If I had to choose between my wife and Allie, I would choose Sarah, the wife, 100%. I just don't feel like I should have to. Am I the asshole? I don't think so.
I don't think so, but also I do definitely get the vibe that maybe he's been making comments and she's probably 16 months old. Like that's still within range of postpartum issues, like especially if she had a
But
complicated pregnancy.
if it is the wife that has said she hasn't snapped back, right?
Like,
I mean, that could just be her not
I
feeling
mean,
as beautiful as she used to.
pregnancy
It
changes your
could,
body.
yeah, it could be
And
him having said like a passing comment that he didn't
yeah,
think anything of. It could just be that, it could just be hormones with the
like
baby. I mean, it could be so many different
I get the
issues.
vibe that he
But
says things about other women or about her body and she's getting frustrated with that. I mean, either way, at that point, I wouldn't like at that point you need to end a relationship, not try
yeah,
to continue to control someone because the thing is, if everything's happy at home, they're not gonna look somewhere else. And if they're gonna look somewhere else, there's not shit you can do about that. Like
yeah.
you can't be a better partner to stop someone from cheating. If they're gonna cheat, they're gonna fucking do it.
And this guy,
So
I feel like, could have. I don't feel like he did just based off of what he said.
yeah, but
So maybe he should take the kid and run.
I don't know. I get the vibe that it's more deep than that. But at surface value, I just think maybe they need to
There's definitely
do
some
something.
postpartum issues there.
Yeah.
And I feel like it has stemmed into their social life a little bit.
Well, if he's a software engineer, he probably makes enough money for her to stay at home
Yeah.
as well. So like that could be hard. I don't know. We don't know these people's lives or what's going
No.
on. And unfortunately when people are telling a story about themselves, they tell it
Yeah.
in a certain way a lot of
And
the time.
honestly, they were both 30 or 34, right, when they got married. They had a kid 3 years into the relationship.
Hmm.
He obviously loves her. If
Yeah.
he's making a lot of money, he's in his late 30s now. He can go find another girl if he wanted to. He hasn't.
Yeah, but if she's
Why
financially
being
dependent on him,
insecure about it? I
I
mean,
don't know.
I don't know.
That's I think they need to do some soul searching about what's
So,
right for them. Okay, your tangent.
onto my tangent. This is a real story, a true story of a coworker that we both used to work with.
Okay,
I'm not going to name names.
just
I know for a fact that she will never watch this podcast. And if she does, she knows that I'm talking about her.
okay.
Yes. Um she is what, 24 now?
I don't know. We don't
She was
need the
probably like
specifics.
20 and her husband was like 21 when they got married or something like that, right?
I
They'd
don't know
been
if I know who this
they'd
is. You're gonna
been
have to tell me
dating.
after
Yeah, well, they'd
because I
been
don't
dating
know.
like since they were kids. So
Okay.
it's one of those situations. And they were fine. They were happy together or whatever, right? At least he was. He This was like what, 3 4 months after they got married. He wanted to have a night where all of his friends came over and slept over and they just played games and hung out and
Hmm.
drank and just like had fun, right?
Hmm.
and she threw a fit about it. She was complaining about it to his parents, to her parents. She was complaining about it to literally
Speak up.
every single
Sorry.
person at the store. She was complaining about this for weeks. And I looked at her and I was like, why does it matter if he wants to spend time with his friends? Because it's not that she didn't want them to spend the night. She said that he needs to spend his time with me and think about me, and he doesn't be spending time with his friends. She didn't care about them spending the night part. She didn't want him to have friends. And I called her out on that. And then I got fussed at by her and this other girl that was there. But then I had someone else back me up who happened to be the manager, and then they just kind of like left. And ever since then, like I always gave her like
I don't
not
remember who
hateful
this
looks, but I
is.
just glared at her every single time. Like that's so
To
petty.
be fair, I don't remember many people from that job besides the
Yeah,
people I
I mean
stayed
they were
friends
both
with.
like kind of assholes. To be fair,
Who? I will cut it.
The short blonde girl.
I don't know
She
who
had a
that
kid.
is.
I'll show you a picture.
I don't know who that
And then
is.
the girl who defended her was
I remember a little bit. I don't remember those people at all. Like, I don't think I ever spoke to them.
that girl.
I don't know her.
You worked with her.
I just
Anyways,
might as well not have.
she was an asshole, and I called her out on it because she was being completely just psycho and controlling about it, and she didn't like that I called her out on it. And like, I don't care.
Who is her husband?
His name was.
Oh,
He didn't work there. I had never met him,
okay.
but from what I heard, he was one of the nicest people on earth. Like, actually, genuinely nice.
Yeah.
And she wasn't. He deserved so much better than she did because he wouldn't care if she went to hang out with male or female friends, but she doesn't want him hanging out with his guy friends that he's been friends with his whole life because he needs to focus on her. I mean, that guy needs to get out of that relationship. He needed to get out of it then before they got married. But I hope he's out of it and with someone who's actually going to make him happy.
Yeah,
because
so
she's going to turn into a
controlling.
controlling bitch.
That is so controlling.
Yeah. If he hasn't already, because that was like what 4 or 5 years ago.
I've heard so many stories of people that like they're with someone and then they get married and the person just fucking flips because they think that traps them or something.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened here, unfortunately. But they have 2 kids together now. The last time that I knew,
she gave him a warning and he didn't take it. So,
because he probably was like, well, it's okay, I just won't hang out with them. And then, yeah.
You're not in a relationship to control what you're not controlling what each other does. It's supposed to be taking 2 separate lives and they're better together, making one thing where you just talk to each other and that's it, unless that's your thing. And then
I mean, some relationships thrive with each person having their own lives and just going home and spending time together at the end of the day. That's fine. But no relationship is going to thrive with one person being controlling and abusive, because that's what it is. She was being abusive to him. And unfortunately, given what I know about how he was raised and the fact that he and she were both raised as Christians and in the church, he probably, even if he realizes that he's being abused, probably thinks no one would believe me because I'm a guy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that happens a lot. Both ways, but I'll know a lot of guys that get abused don't say anything because
they just think it's normal.
They think it's normal, or that other people will think worse of them because they're a guy. And guys can't get abused. That's probably what they think, and that's not it.
Yeah. Well, if you're a guy out there, heads up, you can be abused.
You can.
You should not be treated badly just because you're in a relationship with a woman.
I've heard a lot of stories of like guys just not even any intention at all, just saying hi to a girl and the wife getting mad and like hitting them about it. That's abuse.
That is abuse.
You should leave them over that.
Yes.
I mean, that's
100%.
because that's going to turn into something down the road. And that's not okay.
Especially when you're early on in the relationship. For the first year, I don't feel like you know that person
No.
100%.
I know they say the honeymoon phase is 3 months,
3
but
months.
really,
It's like a year.
it's a lot longer than
It's
that.
at least a year until you
Yeah.
have spent 12 months with that
And
person. I don't
also,
think you know who they
do
are.
not marry someone without living with them for
Yeah.
at least a year.
Unless that's just like super important to you want to like
No,
religious
you
reasons,
can live
whatever.
with someone and not like have sex with them.
Yeah, but
But you should live with them so you know how they really are.
if someone's giving you those warnings that early on,
Yeah.
you need to take those warnings, because the thing is, with stuff like that, with abuse, with control, it doesn't get her. They don't just wake
No.
up and decide I should stop doing this. It's gonna continue to get worse until
Because the abuser sees, oh,
like
hey, I got away with this and it worked. I'm
it's
going
gonna
to see
build.
how far I can push it.
Like
And it's going to go from like controlling what you do,
yeah,
controlling your friends, controlling your life, and it's going to get emotional and it's going to get physical.
yeah, it turns into controlling who you can
Yeah.
hang out with, to throwing a cup, to hitting you. And I mean, obviously it doesn't always do that, but like you need to be aware that when those early
Yeah.
signs are happening, you need to take them face value.
And of course, this doesn't just happen in like straight relationships.
no matter
This
who you are, that happens.
you don't even
all the
have to be
time.
dating. It can be your friend.
Yeah, I
who's
think
doing
people
it.
forget
It could be a child to a parent. It could be a
domestic
parent to a
abuse
child.
is anyone that you live with
hmm
or work with, anyone that you spend a significant amount of time and you have to consistently interact with them. That is domestic abuse. It's not just like partner on partner, parent on child, that type of thing. It is anyone that you are like consistently interacting with because you live or work with them. Anyways, uh, this last segment is going to be silly after that really heavy one, because I've been thinking, writing out our episodes, I want to add more, um, like personal stuff. I want you guys to get to know us a little more. And what better way to do that
Then stalk us.
than take a BuzzFeed quiz with us today? And the BuzzFeed quiz that I have chose today is, we know how your feet look by the way you answer these 7 questions.
Okay.
So you're up first, Will.
Oh Lord.
Do you wear slippers around the house? Sometimes, no, or yeah.
I don't wear slippers. I wear sandals. So no, I do
I'm
not
gonna
wear
count
slippers.
it. I'm gonna count it as the same thing. That's the same thing.
Slippers don't have the thing that go in between
Okay.
your feet.
We don't have room to be that specific. I'm gonna say yes because you wear flip flops.
I do.
I'm gonna say yeah. On to the next one. What do your toenails look like? And I'll put the images on the screen. The first one is like some really crusty looking toenails. The second one is someone's feet, but they have their nails painted. And then the third one is just someone's feet with like nothing, and they're kind of touching their feet. I don't know.
I would say the third one. I think my nails look normal. They're not painted.
I think you could be number one. I don't know.
They're not.
This is the closest you're gonna get to seeing our feet without seeing our feet.
Yeah, you have to
You're gonna know us very
You have to
intimately.
pay for that. $50 a month to see one picture of each of our feet.
How often do you get a pedicure?
I've never. That's
Never.
no. I don't want anyone touching my feet.
How much water did you have today? A lot, a glass, or a few glasses?
I mean, I usually drink 1.5 gallons a day, so
I'd say a lot.
yeah.
Do you wear socks?
I mean,
No socks. Socks.
socks with shoes.
That one doesn't say anything. It's just a picture of.
Does it is they wearing a sock?
I don't think so. I'm gonna say
I
no
only
socks
wear socks
sometimes
if I'm
and
wearing
always.
shoes. I only wear
So
socks.
I'm just gonna select this one because I think it's sometime.
I think that's socks with shoes.
What is your opinion on foot cream?
I don't
Like lotion.
Mm-mm.
I
will throw up
Do you wash your feet daily?
when I take a bath.
Okay. You're a normie. Your feet aren't all that great, but they don't look bad. In simple word, just normal.
There's nothing bad with that. BuzzFeed
No,
is so
see.
demeaning. Oh my god.
I think our answers are generally the same, but I'm gonna just run through this really quick. I'm not gonna count the times that I have like sandals on because I'm just say always socks. I have well kept feet. Um, your feet are well kept, and you're doing an amazing job and keeping them amazing. Thank you, BuzzFeed, for complimenting feet. Thank you for watching or listening this far. That's the end. I hope you enjoyed it and our tangents, and also seeing what our theoretical feet would look like. If you enjoyed, please like or subscribe or follow. We're on a lot of platforms, so figure out which one is best for that because it helps us out a lot, and show us to other people if you think we're funny. If not, also leave a hate comment because I love destructive criticism. Um, but thank you so much for watching and or listening this far. See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.